So we will continue our discussion in Numpy tutorial number 16 that will be discussing that what is random numbers. Now this will be very important tutorial whenever we want to generate a random number while working on real world project at the end of this Numpy playlist. Now what is random number? Random number doesn't mean a different number every time. We say that whenever we generate a different number, each time different number, then it is random number. Random means something that cannot be predicted logically. Suppose I want to generate random numbers within 100 values. So on execution of each execution, I will be getting new number, sometime 5, sometime 91, sometime 80, sometime 70. This is not a random number because there are so many reasons. I'll show you. First, let's explain a couple of lines here. Pseudo random and true random. We have two types of random. Computers work on programs, okay, and programs are built-in instructions. So it means there must be some algorithm to generate a random number as well. So we use some built-in module to generate a random number. On each execution, new number. So there must be logic, there must be program, there must be algorithm behind this module to generate that number. Okay, if there is a program to generate a random number, it can be predicted. So a program that generates random number, so it can be predicted, and this is not a random number, thus it is not truly random. But let me show you this line. Can we make truly random numbers? Yes, of course. Generate random numbers. So in order to generate a truly random number on our own computer, we need to get some random data from outside source, and this outside source is generally it could be keystrokes, mouse movements, data on network, etc. So we do not need truly random numbers unless it's related to security. Okay, example, Gracia, you can say encryption keys on the basis of application is the randomness, or digital roulette wheels. So we will start our discussion while creating random numbers in Numpy. So for that you have to use from Numpy import random module. Now this random module will give all the facility that you want from it. So I'll say store my random number within this X, from random module. Within this we have a class by the name rand init, and it will generate random numbers. So I want within 100 values for each execution a new random number. So print X. So this time 80, let me shift enter again, this time 27, this time 30, this time 79. Now what happened here? So we have from Numpy we import a random. Then from this random we use a randint function that will generate integer type numbers, and it will take these values. So on each execution it will give you new random number. Now how to create a float type random number? So you can use the same way, but this time a bit change function. So from random use just rand, and it will give you float value. So if I say just let me keep it empty and print X. So now we have 0.36, again 0.30, on again execution 0.80, on again execution 0.66. So on each execution it will return you new random number but float time. So what is the difference between rand and rand int? When we use rand int, it means random integer number. When we just use rand, then it will give you float type random. So if pass here you value, then it will generate all that values, such as I want 100 values float type, so it will give 100 values, as you can see right here. Now generate random array. So in Numpy we work with arrays, and we can use two methods from the above example to make random arrays, as you can see here. So generate a 1D array containing 5 random integers from 0 to 1. The same method, you don't need to worry. Random dot rand int. What I want to generate containing 5 elements integer value from 0 to 1. So if just I pass here 5, what will happen? And print X, it will give me nothing. Okay, but if I pass here 100, then what will happen? and it will give you one number, but within this 100. But what I want 5 values. So we will be using size parameter, and within this we'll have to pass 5 because I want 5 values within 100. So it will give me 5 values. If I pass here 10, it will generate me 10 random values. Okay. Next, generate a 2D array with 3 rows, each row containing 5 random integers from 0 to 1. The same method but a bit different. So x random dot rand integer, and from 100 size will be equal to how many rows? 3 rows, and each rows containing will be 5 elements. So within 100 values it will generate me 2D array that has 3 rows and 5 columns. So let's print x and see. As you can see, 3 rows, 5 columns. If I say 5 by 5, then it will generate me 5 by 5, 5 rows, 5 columns. So you can generate 3D arrays. So what does it mean? So whenever we use size, we can specify the shape of array or the element that we want to generate. Now generate 1D array containing 5 random floats. So x will be equal to random dot rand, just rand, and here we'll have to use let's say 5, just 5. Let me pass here 5, and after that x. So as you can see, we have generated float values, 5 random float values. Okay, next, generate a 2D array with 3 rows, each row containing 5 random numbers. Now what does it mean? So x random dot rand integer rand, no float type values. This should be rand float type values. We want to generate float type values. And what does it say? It say that generate 2D array with 3 rows, each row containing 5 random numbers. Okay. What we done here, what we have done in this example, as you can see right here. Now what is the difference between these two examples? It says that generate 2D array with 3 rows, each row containing 5 random integers from 0 to 100. But what it says that generate 2D array with 3 rows, each row containing 5 random numbers, not between 100 and so. Okay, just use size, then we will see, and after that 3 by 5, and after that just print your x, and it will give you an error. The reason is rand got an unexpected keyword argument size. So let's specify here without size, let's say without size, it will give you value. Whenever you use random integer, then you can specify the limit of your value, such as I want between 0 and 100, then you can pass size. But when you use rand, then you can directly pass the row values and column values without using size. This is the only difference between these two functions. Now generate random number from array but using choice method. So what does it mean? Choice method allows you to generate a random value based on array of values. It takes the entire array as a parameter and randomly returns one of the values. So very simple. Let's say we have array x, then random, then choice function. Then with this choice, what we will do, according this, it says that choice take array as a parameter. So let's pass an array. So let me create here array 1 2 3 4 5, 3 4 5, and after that just print x and enter. It will give you 2. It means that we created array while using a random module, and we randomly generated from this a number. Okay, this time 4, this time 3, again this time 5. So you can pass entire array, and while passing that array you can generate a random number as well without using a rand int or random. The next is generate a 2D array that consists of the values in the array parameter, and this will be your task, this will be your exercise. So in the next video we will be discussing random data distribution. So see you there.